Oh shit.
Hey everyone, so it's here, version 11, the holiday update for 2021 for the Model 3, S, X, and Y. But first, it's time for a light show. Okay, so going through the release notes, obviously the first thing we see is the light show. Now, I think at this point everyone's seen the light show. They kind of know what it looks like. The lights flash to a song. But what you may not know is it's customizable. So you can actually download some software, make your own sequence, upload your own MP3 or WAV file, and the car will play through your light sequence for you. So I think it would be really cool for like, car shows, or if you've got a Christmas display of your own, you want to sync it to your own lights. Go ahead, download the software, check it out. Next, the biggest update obviously is the customizable launcher, or in fact, it's the whole refresh of this UI. So this dock down here can be moved around. Unfortunately, it looks like you can put a maximum of 4 icons down here. And the icon on the left is actually the Recents app. So whatever you used last that is not on the apps on the right will show up here. It's kind of like the recent part of the dock on a Mac if you use a Mac. Next, we have simplified controls. I would like to call this hidden controls. So what they've done is I guess they've minimized the clutter on the UI. So if you notice up at the top left here, you don't see like the LTE status anymore. There's no, HomeLink shows up because I'm currently at home. But when you're driving, HomeLink disappears as well. You also can't see whether the dash cam is on or not. I kind of miss those things. Like if I'm driving and my music cuts out, I would like to know that I have no LTE or no, cellular connection. Also, I would like to know if the dash cam is recording, because sometimes, if you hit a bump and the thumb drive or the, hard drive is loose, it doesn't show anything. I mean, there might be a notification that tells you, but I would like to, at a glance, be able to see that, okay, yeah, it's recording as a peace of mind. Also, because the button is not there, it's harder to save the recording now. So to save the recording, you actually have to go to the controls or the car icon here, and then you have to tap this to save the recording. So I guess if you're driving and you want to quickly save a clip, you have to, do 2 taps to save that recording. So blind spot cameras are pretty cool. So once you enable the setting, it's actually in the controls, it's in autopilot, and then you scroll down a little bit and you see automatic blind spot camera. So when you enable this, basically it'll turn on the left or the right repeater camera when you indicate left or right. So to demonstrate, I think this works in park. So I'm going to indicate left, and you'll see that the left camera has turned on, indicate right, and the right camera turns on. If you disable it or turn it off, it goes away. I think it's cool. I'm not sure how useful it is, because imagine if you are driving and you're trying to change lanes. I don't think you'll be looking here. I think you'll be automatically looking at the mirrors. And I think, if your vision is not that great, I think it'll be hard to actually gauge how close that car is based on this image. Your brain is kind of not wired for it. I think it'll be really cool if they just put like a red rectangle around it so that at a glance, oh, red is bad, so I won't change lanes, and maybe green if it's good or something like that. Next, actually one more thing. When you are indicating and if you don't want the camera here, you can actually just swipe it away, and it'll go away. Edit waypoints. So waypoints was added last time. Now you can actually go in and edit them, which is pretty cool. I think the initial implementation of waypoints was a bit limited, but now at least you can go in and reorder them, which is what people wanted anyway. We have a few games: Sonic the Hedgehog, Battle of Polytopia, and Sudoku. I don't really game in the car, so I'm going to skip over that. Subwoofer improvements. So now you can actually go into, like, say, your media player here. You click the toggle here, and then there is a dedicated slider for the sub. I tried it. You can hear the difference. If you max it out, there is a bit more bass, but it's quite subtle. Okay, cold weather improvements. You can actually precondition your cabin when the charge is even lower now, which is great. But the more interesting thing for me is actually the automatic seat heaters. So you can actually enable them on auto now. So the car will heat up the seat when it thinks it's too cold. Before they were all manual. So to get to that, you basically go to the aircon condition here, or the aircon section down here, and down on the bottom left and right there's an auto button. So by default they're disabled. If you tap it once, now it's enabled. So if the car gets cold, or if the environment gets cold, the car will automatically turn on your seat heaters for you. Okay, manage dashcam clips. You could always open the dashcam viewer, which is now hidden in here. So instead of pressing the dashcam icon and then launch viewer, it's a button down here. So you could always do that. It's actually the same in this current version. So they've actually added a button in safety where you scroll down and there is delete dashcam clip. So this will just wipe out all the dashcam clips on your drive. So if you want to quickly, clear the drive, you don't have to take it out and format it or whatever, or take it out and delete it. Just press that and it will delete everything for you. Dark mode, so there is dark mode now. Now there was always a night mode. I don't know why this is so different that it needs its own, I guess, release note point here. But if you go to display, there is auto, which is what I'm in now. Obviously it's daytime here, so it's set to light mode. If I tap dark mode, I guess everything goes dark. This just looks like the night mode from before, so I don't know why it has its own separate setting here. Okay, and then you can hide the map details. So this one is, I don't know, it's not that interesting to me, but if you tap this icon, all those point of interest show up. So this is what it used to be, the default, you couldn't get rid of it, but now I guess you can have a cleaner look by getting rid of that. So if that's what you're into, then you have that option here as well. Okay, so because there's a whole UI refresh here, I'm going to deep dive into I guess the menus a little bit more. Normally I don't do this because it's kind of boring. Now, another interesting thing is when you go into Drive, this dock actually changes. So instead of having this double row, let me try that now. So you put into Drive, and now it's all in one row or one bar. Don't know why. I guess it saves vertical space so you can see more of the map. That might be why. But you can still customize stuff while in this view. So yeah, interesting decision why they did that. I've also realized why this area expands and contracts when you go into Drive and Park. So in Park, there are more icons here. If you go into Drive, the icons actually disappear. So things like the web browser is now gone, because in Australia you can't use the web browser. So if you put it into Park again, you'll see things like the browser is back. I think that's the only thing actually. Let me see, there is 12 icons here. And then now there are 3, 6, 9, yeah, there's 11. So yeah, the only thing we're missing is the browser icon at the moment. Another quirk, and definitely not a feature, is the home link icon. So when you're near your house and you have home link set up for the location, this shows up at the top left here. This is a quirk and it's definitely a bug. So if you press it, it opens the controls to then show you the home link icon inside this section here. I'll do that again. So it looks weird, there's a weird glitch. So if you press it, it shows up for a brief second here and then it jumps into this thing. So it's definitely a UI glitch. And I think this looks really ugly. Like my personal opinion, but I don't know why you would have this drop down covering the buttons here. Anyway, that's another quirk. Yeah, these icons used to be up here. Like I said before, I think I would prefer them up here. I don't think they're taking that much space. I mean, you have icons up here anyway, but they've hidden them in here now. So if you lose LTE connection, you won't even know until you open like the car icon and then controls. The service menu has changed quite a bit actually. They've put a lot of the functions into buttons down here. And also the car pressure or the tire pressure monitor is no longer in this swipe area here, which I also miss because I like to see my tire pressure when I'm driving, because when the car is cold, there's no PSI showing here. So when you're driving, that's when you have to bring up the menu to see the tire pressures. So now you have to go to the car control service and then the tire pressure shows up here. Now another thing I noticed is there's no more cross icon to close things. Everything is swipe down now. So like even Spotify, you can't really close it. You have to swipe down. Same for the radio. You have to swipe down for it to close. I guess it makes it consistent, one consistent behavior, but I do miss the single tap to close everything. Another thing I noticed is that you can no longer swipe down on the icon to minimize things. So that was very useful for me because I could kind of hold down here and I knew, okay, I'm here, and I was just swipe down to minimize the music player. Now you can't. You have to drag this down to minimize it. There used to be a half position as well. I don't think there's a half position anymore. Yeah, so now it's either like this docked mode or you swipe it all the way down to get rid of it. You can tap the icon to move between the 3 positions, which I guess is still useful. That might be easier. Instead of swiping, you can just tap it. I guess tapping is an easier action to do than swipe. So I guess the option is still there, but if you like the swipe, that's gone now. Another thing I noticed is if you swipe anywhere on this bar that's not an icon, it will always bring up the HVAC. So no matter where you swipe, as long as it's not on an icon, it will bring up your air conditioning controls, basically. Since I'm at the air conditioning controls, that has also changed a bit. So they have the icons here now instead of a slider down the bottom for, you know, keep climate on, dog mode, or camp. I mentioned earlier the automatic heat seaters. What am I saying? The automatic seat heaters down here. In the past, there was a button in the bottom left corner that you could turn on the rear aircon. I use that a lot because I have a dog in the back and he's not heavy enough to trigger the seat sensor, so the aircon on the back never turns on when he's there. So what I used to do was I tap the round icon to turn on the back vents. Now you have to go to rear and then turn on rear fan. So the driving UI, when you put into drive, it hasn't changed too much. The car looks exactly the same. You can swipe things down away here. So if you get a message, for example, you can swipe it down, it will go away. The font seems a bit different. I think they put everything closer to the top right corner, the speedometer and stuff. They have changed the speed limit a little bit. So when you activate autopilot, it actually has a autopilot max speed up in the top right corner of this panel here. Other than that, it looks pretty much the same. This driving visualization on the right, you can still pan around and stuff. I do miss those cards that are down here. They were hard to get to before, but at least you could quickly swipe and see, you know, like things like tire pressure, your odometer, and stuff like that, trip meter. That's gone now, but I guess I'll just get used to whatever the new thing is anyway. Trips. So this is kind of new. So in the past, the odometer was in this little card section here where you had to swipe left and right to get to, and it was a really small window. Now they have the full trip information. It's exactly the same stuff as what was in the card, but now it's bigger, so it's easier for you to see. I'm not sure if I like this, because sometimes when you are driving, for example, you want to get to it quickly down here, but now you have to open the car menu, trips, and then see the whole thing here. So I guess just a change in where they put it. Okay, so while just playing with the Spotify app down here, I noticed that you can actually toggle the music or the audio source from here. So I think I'll keep the Spotify icon because I usually listen to Spotify anyway, and then I can just toggle, you know, between radio and so on here. So that way I can, I guess, keep this icon for energy. And finally, the one thing that I hoped that we could get in Australia, but we still don't have it, is the remote sentry mode. So in places like the US, I think all of North America now, and most of Europe have the option of remotely viewing sentry mode, which is excellent. I think that would be the best feature that we're currently missing in Australia, so we still don't have that here, which sucks. So anyway, I think that's it. I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.